My first guest today is the BJP Sudhanshu Trivedi. It's member of Parliament and national spokesperson. Appreciate you joining us, Mr. Trivedi. Before I come to you, I want to raise the big questions tonight. Modi government. Is the Modi government engaged in the politics of intimidation? Has dissent been criminalized? Are Rahul Gandhi's personal attacks on Prime Minister Modi misguided and self-goals? Does the Indo-US trade deal need a national debate? Let's go question by question. You're my first guest, then I'll be joined by the Congress's Abhishek Manu Singhvi. But to you, Sudhanshu Trivedi, according to Rahul Gandhi, Modi now stands for the murder of democracy in India. That this is intimidation when you arrest workers for what he says was a peaceful, non-violent protest. Your response to what is now escalating into a major controversy?
I will respond both on the technical aspect as well as on the political aspect. On the political aspect, if Rahul Gandhi is calling his leaders, youth Congress leaders, as Babbar Sher, means the soldiers of Lashkar-e-Rahul, he is saying as Babbar Sher. But I would ask him, is there any coalition partner standing with him on this issue? The answer is no. On the contrary, Akhilesh Yadav ji has indirectly criticized on that speech, on that aspect, and precisely directly on doing this thing in Bharat Mandapam. Is his entire party with him? No. Margaret Alva has openly criticized. So the fact of the matter, Rajdeep ji, is that this episode has become a sinkhole for coalition and reputation both for Congress party. But unfortunately, the Congress party is guided by a misguided leader at the time who is least interested in making the organization of Congress strong and making an objective politics rather than he is more interested in anarchical and destructive politics. On the technical aspect, I would like to ask, if there was an organization or a program going on in which 20 head of the states are there, including UN Secretary General, and 100 countries are represented, and all top IT companies whose heads are there, in terms of sensitivity of the security, their security is also equivalent to head of the state. If in that place somebody goes there and creates this type of scene, is this not a very sensitive issue which is to be dealt with firmness and with extensive investigation by the agencies?
Because what is the crime?
I'm not saying
Sudhanshu Trivedi, Sudhanshu Trivedi, 1 minute. Across the world, protests take place at big international events. Across the world. This is not unusual. If there is a protest, you and I can agree that it is inappropriate. We can agree that it is, some would say, immature, reckless. But is it criminal? This is a question I asked last night. I am asking it again because I am not getting a clear answer. What is the conspiracy here? Yes, sazish kya hai?
I will give you.
What is the sazish suddenly?
Rajdeep ji, I will give you a very clear categorical answer. Yes, in several international events, the environmental activists, they protest. They protest outside the building. They protest on the other side of the road. They do not enter in the disguise of the visitors. And then they start protesting on that particular point in which so many sensitive people are there. This can be a diversionary tactic which can be used by any security threat of the terrorist organization or whatever, whosoever wants to do that. I'm not saying that the Congress is willfully done. And one more thing I would like to say in this context. If this would have been an incidence of some stray boys coming, suddenly they got agitated, they entered into like a normal visitor and they start shouting, all from Delhi, then it could have been understood. But if all are from different states, they have come here, it means it has come with a proper planning. So it has to be investigated whether the planning was just to give a protest or something else. Because if somebody says
what is
that
something
there is
else?
no categorical something else, then he has to take the responsibility.
Kya ye something else? What is the something else? They have gone on a shirtless protest. You all have now giving them even more publicity. The point is that they have done a shirtless protest. You can claim that it was unlawful assembly to enter the Bharat Mandapam. I am still not able to understand the non-bailable crime here. You are restricting the right to protest as a result.
No. Now again, I would
Will
like
Sudhanshu
to say, you are
Trivedi
having a
decide?
right to
Will
protest.
Sudhanshu
One
Trivedi
example,
decide
just-
where and how a protest has to take place?
Now I will decide. Rajdeep ji, if you remember, there were several protests against the TV channels and media houses also. But it is always outside. You remember? In 1994, two big newspapers of UP, when Mulayam Singh was chief minister, they went inside. And inside they started threatening those people and doing demonstration. Then a criminal case was lodged. It was not a protest. When you move inside the house and start doing anything, then it becomes a criminal activity. Like somebody wants to protest outside your house, it's okay. You could have protested outside the BJP office, you could have protested outside the IT minister's office, you could have protested outside the parliament building. But once you intrude inside and start taking action, it becomes criminal. It is technically, as per law, after Abhishek Manu Singhvi ji comes, you can ask him. If somebody enters into your premises and forcefully started taking any action, is this not criminal? He will have to answer yes or no. Your answer will be categorically yes. So again, I would like to say that this other thing. When India is all set to emerge, a leader in the emerging technology of AI, there could have been a possibility that the several countries or the several forces, anti-India forces, will not be very appropriate for this, because in the last 1.5 years, there are certain things which has happened. We are now number 3 country in the AI rollout after America and China. We are number 1 in the digital transaction. We are the second country after China in which iPhone is being manufactured. We are become the biggest factory outside China of the Foxconn, which prepares the chip. It has now been started in India. Now Google is spending $15 billion. So they are not foolish that they are going to have in Visakhapatnam. So there can be a possibility that if India is emerging as a hub, to try to create a situation in which there should be a lack of confidence. So this can be a conspiracy, not only on the security aspect,
we are such
but
a,
also against
Sudhanshu
the
bhai,
economic rise of India,
Sudhanshu bhai,
against
for the very
technological rise
reason,
of India.
No, for the very reasons you are saying, if we are so powerful, if we are doing so well, why should we be worried about some protesters coming on a shirtless protest? Are we so weak that we suddenly get afraid? Turant, it seems that you want to create a chilling effect कि कोई protest नहीं करेगा, ना university campus में करेगा, ना भारत मंडपम में कल करेगा. You will not allow them to protest. You will brand them as anti-national. A strong democracy allows space for protest. A weak democracy becomes authoritarian.
Rajdeep ji, again, I have already explained it. You are a very senior journalist. Now you quote a single instance in which any international event inside the premises, something has happened. I challenge you, quote me a single instance. And as far as the democracy is weakened, I know that there is no answer at all. And there is still a fig leaf cover to cover that. But as far as the democracy is concerned, Rajdeep ji, these people are trying to give a sermon. They were having a DIR, Defense of India rule, in which if on a public place somebody is saying that the Indira Gandhi's government should go, he could have been put behind the bar without any legal remedy. He was not having even power to move the court. And they are trying to say that they are the Babbar Sher and the defenders of democracy and so and so. We are just saying that any possibility of any conspiracy should have been cleared, then there will be no problem. They can go ahead. Otherwise, it was a very shameless, reckless. I understand that the Congress is having a consistent level of frustration because they are consistently being defeated. So they are having an utter sense of jealousy, utter sense of inferiority complex with Prime Minister Sri Modi and the BJP. But out of this frustration, if you are going to this level, which has not only brought down the prestige of Congress party, but also trying to bring down the prestige of India. And again, I would like to ask, name a single India alliance who has openly supported Congress on that. Tell me. अरे अपने लोगों को साथ नहीं ले पा रहे, हम लोगों को ज्ञान दे रहे हैं.
नहीं, वो तो political. Sir, politically they may have scored a self goal. We could argue about that. Politically they may have scored a self goal. I am only asking on the limited point that a party in power seems to be so determined in some way to send out this message ki nobody in future will dissent. Nobody will claim has the right to criticize the government at an event. You seem to suggest because it was an international event, therefore you cannot protest there. Am I correct? Any other event would be okay. This is international event.
No.
The country's image has been spoiled. That's your limited point.
Rajdeep ji. No, my limited point is very clear. Now you have to answer. Everybody is having the right to protest. For that, he has to tell in advance and he has to take the permission. Am I correct or not? If the permission is not granted, then it is autocracy. But without any permission, you try to create it, then this is disturbance. It's not protest. You can do protest.
So how do you
if you have asked the permission and the permission would not have been granted, then you could have said that this is an authoritarian attitude.
How do you respond to Rahul Gandhi saying these are all weapons of mass diversion? Government is on the back foot on the Epstein files, on Indo-US trade deals. That's why they are sending out this message. What will you say to him in conclusion?
Actually, the problem is Congress party's biggest weapon of mass diversion, biggest weapon of destruction, their political mass destruction has become Rahul Gandhi ji. In the last 11 years, Rajdeep ji, quote a single instance in which they tried to create a ruckus and they could have been able to prove even an iota of truth. On Rafael, they've fallen flat on the court of law. Then they said Chaukidar Chor, they have to tender an unconditional apology. Then they tried to create a ruckus that LIC has been destroyed. LIC is an all-time high profit. Then they said the State Bank of India has been destroyed. State Bank of India is an all-time high profit. They said the HAL has been finished. HAL is having an all-time high order line of 2,53,000 crores. Then they said the SEBI is finished. It's all okay. Then they say the COVID vaccine is bad. Then they tried to say the Ram Mandir is, Muhurt is against. You name a single instance in which they have not tried to create a confusion and anarchy in the country on the issue of surgical strike, Balakot, Operation Sindoor. Every time their entire claim has fallen flat. So there is a consistent design to demean India, to destroy the image of India. So this seems to be, I can say, whatever the activity of Congress is a naked truth of their notorious engagement inspired by the nefarious design.
Okay. I'm going to leave it there, Sudhanshu Trivedi. As
and
always,
one more thing I would like
appreciate
to add.
you joining us and giving us a... Yes, 10 seconds.
Rajdeep ji, one sentence or bol do, if you permit. 10 seconds. Congress is not only in opposition, sir. You are in power also. If I ask you which is the biggest AI hub or IT hub of India, it is Bangalore. Under your state, you should have given a model. Then the second biggest is Hyderabad. That is also under your state. Like we were giving the Gujarat model. Rajdeep ji, we are sitting on India Today TV. India Today for 7 consecutive years during UPA government has given Gujarat as the best performing state. क्या कांग्रेस ने कोई एआई का मॉडल दिया? कोई गवर्नेंस का मॉडल देते कि this we have proved in Karnataka, this we have proved in Andhra, this तेलंगाना, this we have proved in Himachal. और मॉडल क्या है कि आपका तेलंगाना का सीएम कहता कांग्रेस मतलब मुसलमान, मुसलमान मतलब कांग्रेस. और मैं 500 crores per month I am not having for capital investment. For Gandhi family I am having 1,000 crores. Karnataka model is fighting between Siddharamaiah and DK Shivkumar. So everybody is clear. You should have given a model.
You're on a roll, Sudhanshu ji.
Particularly when AI hubs are under your state.
You're on a roll and I've heard you. I've heard you loud and clear. Your message has been loud and clear. I've heard you strongly. I've given you full time. I appreciate you joining us.